Hey YouTube, it's Rico the Fox Kid, and this time I've got a video of a thing I've seen running around on YouTube. It's called the Yu-Gi-Oh! Youth of the Nation 21 Questions. Pretty much how it works is I answer these 21 questions about how I've done in my Yu-Gi-Oh! Career, I guess you could call it that. And after I finish answering them all truthfully, I pass it on to 5 other people. So let me just open up the window with the questions. Okay. So, question number 1. What is your name? I'm not going to give my full name just because this is the internet and, you know, anything could happen on the internet and you don't want to give out too much personal information about yourself, so I'll just give you my first name. My first name is Kyle, and that's really all you need to know about me right now. Question number 2. How old are you? I am 16 years old. In about a month or so I will be 17 years old, so 16, 17, whatever you want to say. Question number 3, where are you from? Okay, that's another thing I don't really want to get too deep into because, once again, this is the internet. Don't want to be too lenient on everything because, you know, anything can happen with you if you put yourself out there on the internet. So I'm just going to say that I live in Maryland. That's all I'm going to say. Good luck finding me out of everyone in Maryland. Question number 4. What card shop do you represent or play at? I represent Big Larry's Comic Cafe in Mundertown, Maryland. And it's not really a big shop. It's pretty small, but it's a lot better than it was when I first went there, when it was only like 3 or 4 people. Now it's got a pretty big set of people who go there, or at least big as local card shops get. Okay, let's see. Question number 5. When did you first start playing Yu-Gi-Oh? I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh when about Christmas of 2002, I think. It was around the time that Pharaoh's Servant came out. For Christmas, my sister and I, we both got a starter deck Yu-Gi, and that's pretty much where it began. We saw the show a few months earlier, thought it was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. You know, at the time, I'm not really much for the dub these days, but you know, and then I was at school one day and one of my classmates said, "Hey, you want to play Yu-Gi-Oh?" And I was like, "There's a card game for that?" I didn't know, so, and now I know, and I'm really glad for it. It's a great game. Who first introduced you into Yu-Gi-Oh? Well, I kind of just answered that. It would be the classmate who walked up to me and said, "Hey, you want to play Yu-Gi-Oh?" And he was the person who introduced me to the game, and it's kind of funny is that the school I go to, Yu-Gi-Oh's not popular at all. In fact, I think I'm the only person in the school who actually plays it. And if there's anyone else, I've never met him. So yeah. That person, if I were to walk up to them and say, "Hey, weren't you the guy who got me into Yu-Gi-Oh?" he'd probably either not remember him teaching me or like showing me the game, or he would deny ever playing it, because that seems to be a thing with a lot of the cool kids. They deny ever playing the game. I think it's stupid. It's really not. It's a really fun game. So yeah, one of my classmates when I was really young introduced me to the game. What was my very first deck? Well, I'm not gonna count the stuff that's like that random crap you put together when you first start with a bunch of normal monsters on the card. I'm not gonna count that. That's not really a deck. You know, that's what everyone's first deck was. My first deck that had an actual theme, I actually kind of have 2 answers to that, because until I was about 13 or 14 years old, I played the traditional format because I had so many cards that were banned that I wanted to use. During that time, I used a Chaos deck that just had a bunch of just banned cards and stuff to get out both of the envoys and all that annoying stuff. It was pretty good against the people I played against. They were lucky if they beat me. After I switched to advanced format, I built a Warrior Toolbox deck that just focused on using Giant Rat to bring out stuff like Injection Fairy Lily, Elemental Hero Wild Heart. I also had Don Zalug in there, just for extra stuff. Although I didn't use Don Zalug right, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to use his discarding effect. I always used his milling effect for whatever reason. I was a noob. So yeah, my first real deck, I consider that my warrior toolbox deck. Don't have it together anymore. I lost a lot of pieces for it. What was the first holo you ever pulled out of a pack? This one, I think this is right. I might be wrong though. I think it was either Spell Ruler or Metal Raiders. It was Metal Raiders. I pulled a super rare Sangha of the Thunder. I think I might still have it. I got the 3 pieces of Gate Guardian itself that I got from a friend of mine. I think the Sangha he gave me was the one that I originally pulled, so I might still have the very first holo I ever pulled. If Sangha was not the first holo I pulled, then I really don't know, but the first one I remember for sure pulling was in one of the reprint packs, Dark Beginning, Dark Revelation or something. I pulled an Ultra Rare Judgment of Anubis. I'm pretty sure I pulled the Sangha before that. Okay. Are you a part of a Yu-Gi-Oh team? No, I am not, although a friend of mine, he did bring it up about a week ago about possibly starting a team, and I am looking into it. It does sound really interesting. I'll just have to see where it goes from there. Right now I'm not part of a team, but it may happen soon. Do you have any Yu-Gi-Oh credentials, regionals, tops or wins, YCS, tops or wins, nationals, wins, all that stuff? Have like won tournaments and stuff? Not really. I haven't been to a regional in a good few years because there aren't a lot where I live. Like the closest regional is a good 2 hours away. And I've been to 4 or 5 regionals around that area. I never did really good. My first regional, as expected, I did horrible. I won 2 games out of the 7 I played. And that was with my toolbox deck. And then when I went to regionals for the second time, by that time I had a macro deck. And I did a little better. Still wasn't good. At max, I went like 3-4. So yeah. I haven't done really good with regionals. Locals, I do a lot better. First time I went into a local tournament, like recently, I got into the top 4 and then lost. And then I got 5th place the week after that, and then just last week I won. Which you should know if you watched my last video, my Debris Lightsworn deck. I did win with that deck. It was amazing, undefeated. I was scared. What's going on? I'd never do this good. So yeah, nothing big scale. I've never done anything more than a regional. I do want to go to a YCS though, and if I can manage a top, then I would really love to go to nationals. But right now, I'm just aiming for YCS. Problem is, the closest one to me is in Providence, Rhode Island, which is a 9-hour drive. So yeah, I don't know how I'm going to be able to pull that off, but if I can, then I'll definitely go to a YCS. I definitely have the ability to get up there. Maybe bring Lightsworn back. They haven't been topping anything recently. Do you trade, sell, buy, and or play for cards? Trade, yes I do. I trade a lot. That's basically how I get everything. Like half my deck I traded for. Sell, I haven't yet, though I might sometime eventually if I really had to. Buy, I have on occasion. It's a very rare case where I actually buy a card. The most notable time I ever bought a card was when it was during, I think, either the very end of the Gladiator Beast format or going right into Teledad, something like that. A guy was selling a Mirror Force, and I needed a Mirror Force, and it was really beat. It wasn't really beat up. I mean, the edges are kind of flimsy and all that stuff. I still have this Mirror Force. I'm pretty sure around the time Mirror Force was between 50 and 70 bucks, because it was the original Metal Raiders Mirror Force. He gave it to me for 10. My dad wasn't too happy that I bought a card for 10 bucks, but 10 compared to 70, yeah, I'm gonna go for that. Yeah, that's the most memorable time I've ever bought a card. I don't buy a lot. I mainly just trade. Play for cards, I have never done that. I don't want to risk it. You know, the one time I play for a card, just watch, I'm gonna lose. Yeah, that'd just be my luck. Do you remember your very first duel? That's question number 13. Not exactly, although I do remember my very first duel was against my sister on the Christmas that we both opened. starter deck Yugi. So naturally, we were both using starter deck Yugi. She won because, you know, she's older than me, so she obviously would have more strategy and skill than I would. I also think we didn't know about the tribute rule because we watched the anime. You know, it was Duelist Kingdom. No one tributed. So yeah, it wasn't anything special. I don't remember a lot of my very early duels. I'm just gonna stop here and continue on the next part in another video. Just make sure I don't run out of time because I'm already at 10 minutes. So thanks for watching, and be sure to see part 2. Thanks.